Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So, I'm in mainland Spain. What we're going to talk about in this video today is we're going to look at some videos of the scene of the Delphi murders. In other words, the actual trail, the bridge. Probably a lot of you have seen things already, but for me, to be honest, a lot of it is new. I didn't realize. I mean, I'd seen the bridge, but it's funny when you see the bridge and bridge guy, you don't realize how high that bridge is, how dangerous it is. I cannot believe that for years that bridge, people have just been going up there, teenagers like Libby and Abby, going up there on the bridge. No wonder their parents initially, when Libby and Abby did not return to get their lift back home, no wonder their parents thought they'd fallen off the bridge, or one of them had fallen off the bridge. Oh my God, it's a terrifying bridge, or it was. We're going to look at how it is now. There have been improvements, safety things done to the bridge. We're going to look at that. We're going to look at the bridge, but not only the bridge. We're going to look at the actual crime scene itself, how perhaps, the Richard Allen forced them off the bridge and made them go down the hill. And we're going to look at it and see that it had, it was Richard Allen who's been found guilty. And, it makes sense that it's Richard Allen because he's been walking those trails for years. You would have to know that area so well, you really would. And you'd also have to be quite fit to go where they ended up, where he made the girls go to before he committed those terrible murders. And, how hidden it was from everyone, and also how desolate this place is. Sorry, that's the dog drinking more tea in there. How desolate this place is. It's so completely desolate. Hardly anybody at that time of year was around, and no wonder nobody saw anything, because I think when you don't know an area very well and you try and visualize it, and of course, normally we just see sort of pictures of the bridge, pictures of the crime scene. But what we're going to actually look at is somebody walking, where they would have walked, where Richard Allen would have escaped to. And we're actually going to watch that. It gives you such a better perspective of the whole thing, doesn't it? And because I'm not near Delphi, anywhere near Delphi, otherwise I would go there myself. I wouldn't have walked over the bridge though, but I would now, because it's got handrails now, and it's been made safe. Though I don't know, it's still very high up, so I don't know if I even would now, but I certainly wouldn't have done the way it was before. I could not have gone across that bridge. But anyway, people did. Makes me feel dizzy just looking at it. But anyway, that's what we're going to look at. We're going to look at the bridge as it was, somebody crossing the bridge as it was. We're going to look at how the bridge is now. And then we're going to look at some footage that was taken by a very gracious YouTuber, Fire and Ice. We're going to, I asked them if it was okay to use their footage. They very kindly agreed that it was. I'll show you that as well in a minute. But first of all, I'm going to say hello to everybody. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Quizzical. Yeah. Now, we're not indulging, yes, some people saying he's innocent, but we're not saying that because it's not true, basically. So what I want to start off with, though, is showing the bridge as it was. So let's see where I was. So this was a TikTok video made of somebody walking over the Mon High Bridge in Delphi with their dog. Poor dog.
All right. Guys, you can't do this.
Look.
Here we go.
Oh my God, it just doesn't look real. So this is where apparently that's why Libby and Abby went there. A lot of teenagers go there. They send their Snapchats. Look where I am. You know, it's like a famous place for photos. I can't believe that anybody's not died before, like for accidental death. It's so easy to fall off there. You know, it just makes me go cold to think of it, of walking over it, how high it is, how unsafe it is. And yeah, maybe when Libby and Abby were attacked, maybe it was in better condition because quite a few years have passed. But I bet it wasn't in much better condition. Oh my God.
Now look.
Makes me go dizzy just watching this guy walk over it.
I am walking pretty fast. There is no danger in this. A little bit there, a little bit there, but you see, you can just step over them. You see how fast I'm going? Look at that. Look how close I am already.
Yeah, and if you knew that bridge really well and you'd been over that bridge many, many times, I think maybe Richard Allen, not only he'd probably been over that bridge millions of times probably, but maybe he'd been on that bridge. He said he liked to go and watch the fish, but he'd been on that bridge maybe contemplating self-deletion. He said that he thought about self-deleting. I think when Richard Allen went these times to hang around this trail, I think a lot of the time he was thinking of deleting himself. But then I think when he saw Libby and Abby, I mean, what made him target Libby and Abby? Personally, I think is because Libby looks so much like his daughter. He passed other women that day who were alone and they didn't get attacked. I think he targeted Libby because she looks like his daughter. That is exactly what I think. But, you know, who knows? Only Richard Allen knows why he targeted Libby and Abby. But, you know, you can see he wouldn't phase him walking across this bridge. He knew this area like the back of his hand.
Okay, look at that. It's dilapidated. Whoa, see that? It's dilapidated, and you got to watch because there are...
Chumba, his family, his wife and his daughter said that he talked about ending his life and that he'd been that's why he'd been committed because he was suffering from depression, etc. So yeah, it's not me saying it. That is what his wife and daughter said. They were worried about his mental state because he had expressed suicidal ideation before. I think every time he went, maybe that day he went there to do it.
Little spots. Now, right about in here. Okay, well, no, that wouldn't be it. Let's go a little closer.
Well, look, people go on these things on the edge and look over. He said he went to watch the fish. You know, obviously he didn't go to watch the fish.
Closer. Okay. Here's one of those platforms. All right, now, down there.
God.
Down there. Okay.
The other thing that strikes me is when his wife saw that picture of Bridge Guy, she must have known that was him. Because even he admitted that he was there, that was the clothes he was wearing, etc. It looks like him. To me, it looks like him. I don't even know him, but from photos that I've seen of him and videos that I've seen of him, I think it's clear that he is Bridge Guy. And there's no ways. His wife is in so deep denial, it is scary. Because when she saw that, even though you couldn't see his face very well, what about his clothes? Wives know what clothes their men have got, their husbands have got. Maybe they've even bought those clothes themselves. You know, there's a lot of men don't even buy their own clothes. The women buy them for them. I cannot believe, there's no way that Richard Allen's wife did not know that was him. She's in such deep denial. It is actually quite scary, I think.
We're almost to the end, and when we get to the end, we will be where he told them to go down the hill. Now, I'm filming this whole thing, okay? I'm watching the ties in front of me, so I can't really.
Imagine if you tripped up. I would trip up. I know I'd trip up and fall off the edge. I just said this bridge is just unbelievable to me. But going back to what you're asking about there, David, about did he not say, someone said assaulted his daughter? He said this was part of the defense argument because he said he had abused his daughter. And then the defense team brought the daughter to the stand and asked her, did he abuse you? And she said no, but she didn't look at him. She couldn't look at him. Anyway, she said, no, he didn't abuse me. So the defense used that to try and say, well, that just shows if he lied about abusing his daughter and his sister, she was another one, then he must have, he could have lied about killing Libby and Abby because, of course, he did admit to it over 60 times. So that's one of the reasons that the defense said, his confessions were false. But it was noticed that when his daughter got up on the stand to say, no, he didn't abuse me, she did not even look at her father, and in fact, all through the trial, she didn't. So anyway, who knows?
I show you my feet too much, but you can see that I am able to get across this thing at quite a clip. It's not that scary. You just have to watch out for the ones that are like curved. See, most of the ties are flat, but then you have stuff like that.
Look, I can see if you didn't have a fear of heights, you would be fine going over that bridge. But if, like me, you've got a fear of heights, you would probably fall over the edge. It's like it's luring you, isn't it? It's like the edge is luring you, and I feel like I would just trip up and fall over the edge, but it's all in my head. If you didn't have a fear of heights, what this guy is trying to illustrate, I think, is you can get over that bridge pretty quick. And if, like Richard Allen, you knew the bridge like the back of your hand, he could get over that quite quickly to catch up to the girls.
Okay. Now, we also have to wonder where he was standing when the picture was taken. Now, see these trees?
Yeah.
See these trees growing over? That's why I'm kind of stumbling, because I keep having to push these trees out of my face. They are getting in the way. Okay, now see, we are almost there, okay? This is how fast you can get across this thing. How long have I been walking here? 2 minutes, 48 seconds. Okay. And the bridge would probably have had to have been in better condition back then. Look at that one. Whew. Got your moss. All right.
So this guy's got a dog with him, hasn't he? My dogs wouldn't like to go over that. They don't even like going over, like in the road in my street. There are like drainage grids. So they're only, they're not, they're only small. My dogs jump over them. They won't walk on them because they've got holes in them.
See, this is just it's not a safe bridge to cross. Only an idiot would do this. Okay. We're almost there, people. Almost there. All right. Now, you notice there is a road right there. See that? See that right there? What is that?
No, what is that?
Okay. Now look down there. That's where he ordered them, down the hill. Right there. Okay. Now. Okay, now here we are at the end of the bridge. Okay. At this point, people say, oh, well, they weren't trapped. They could have gone to houses that were there.
Yeah, well, he had a gun, didn't he? At the end of the day, it was clear in my eyes. He had a gun in his pockets and he pulled his gun out. And that's how he ended up when they got down the hill. And that's how he got the girls to go down the hill. You know, even a knife he may have had, but he obviously had a gun because he left one of his bullets behind. You know, if somebody pulls a gun out at you or points it at you through their pocket or whatever, especially if there's two of you, I think because you'd be worried about the other one. You know, I think if it was just you, obviously you'd be worried. But to be honest, if somebody tried to get me to go down the hill with a gun, I'd just say, F off, you might as well shoot me here now. I'm not going down the hill. But those girls, they're girls for a start, the 14-year-old girls. They don't know, you know, the thing is, the worst thing you can do is actually get in a car with someone, go down somewhere obscure with someone, stay on the main road, because somebody could have popped up on the trail at any moment. But those girls, they were protecting each other, I expect. You know, if you say, well, I'll shoot this one, you know, so say he threatened to shoot Abby, then, well, Libby's going to go down, you know, she's not going to let Abby be shot. Whereas if it was just you on your own, maybe you would kick up more of a fuss or whatever. But you've got your friend to protect as well. So this is where he's thought to have sent them down the hill, isn't it?
Could they? Could they really? Could they?
Yeah, where would they run to?
Now, which way did he have them go?
And
did he have them go down that way? Or did he have them go down this way?
Yeah, that way would be my guess.
I'm guessing probably that way.
Oh, well, we don't know, do we?
But either way, as you're going down, right here, let's say, anytime, this is the way we're going to go, but anytime you're coming down a hill like this, man, this would be a great spot for a very courageous young lady to grab the leg of a certain son of a bitch and throw him down. See that? Look at this. You know.
Not if he had a gun, it would.
This is not easy.
Not if he had a gun.
Yeah, I can see the Kleins doing this. Yeah.
Look. This guy, Richard Allen, he had a gun. You're not going to do anything. They would have been terrified, these girls. Absolutely terrified. And this is why I do think it was Richard Allen 100%. There's no way it was the old guy whose property it was. I think he was 77 years old. He'd be struggling to get. Anyway, you'll see with the other video we're going to look at later. It's a difficult walk. It's a difficult hike. You could see that guy was a bit out of breath. Maybe he's a smoker. Who knows? But Richard Allen knew this place like the back of his hand. You know, this wasn't a new place. He knew it so well.
Okay. All right, we're now under the bridge. This is where he ordered them. Okay. Now, let's go over here. Remember I said I had a theory that for a time the bodies were hid in a culvert. Remember I told you that? Temporarily hid in a culvert. That was one of my theories, based on rumor and innuendo and so forth. But sometimes rumor has a hint of truth in it. Okay, there's the bridge.
God, that bridge.
Okay.
Chilling,
Get a sense for the area here. Okay.
Now, can you imagine after this this crime? You know, lots of YouTubers have been there and TikTokers and taken videos. So I imagine that's why Delphi felt like they definitely had to do something about, because there is no safety. I mean, it's terrifying, I think, that bridge. No wonder the girl's parents thought initially that they'd fallen off the bridge, had an accident maybe. You know, I bet there've been loads of accidents off that bridge. It's horrible. He said down the hill and look, you can.
This was the last thing they saw.
Yeah.
Such a peaceful sign. It's just beautiful.
You can see that there are trails there, and he knew where to take them, where there wouldn't be anybody going past. Now, don't forget this guy, as he's walked over that bridge, and he's seen nobody. So this is what's really struck me as I've been watching this coverage of the area. You don't see anybody. It's like really solitary, quiet. I mean, it's beautiful. You know, it's beautiful, but there is nobody around. So, you know, you wouldn't have anyone to ask for help. It's not the sort of place you'd like to be on your own, that's for sure. It is so solitary, so quiet. You don't see anybody. This guy, as he's walked along there and down there, he hasn't seen anybody.
Boy, you know, it's great out here, you know. Okay, now, what would have happened had they ran?
They would have got shot.
Is there somewhere they would have run off the path and encountered the creek? See, I'm not really sure how far I can go without actually, because I think I'm technically trespassing right now. So I'm not exactly sure
There's nobody around
where I can go. I can go back down that way for a while. I can go back that way. It looks like you're getting back less secluded, more activity that way, though. I'm going to scout around and find out what's up, and I'll get back to you.
Tia, stop. Of course, the best thing to do if you're going to walk that trail is take a great big German Shepherd with you, because, oh my God, I wouldn't feel safe walking there on my own. You should be able to feel safe. You should be able to go and walk out on these trails on your own, but of course you can't, as we know. Okay, so now we're going to go to, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how the bridge is now. What's been, you know, there's been millions spent on it to make it safe. And I expect they've had to do that because they probably get so many visitors to the bridge now. But anyway, it has been made safe now. So where we're going now is we're going to look at, as I say, this the YouTuber who has given me permission to use his videos. And let me just tell you, let me just go with the messages that went between us. So I said to him, can I use do you mind me using your videos, you know, for fair use? And he said, yes, sure, Vicky Marie Chat, sure, as long as it's used respectfully and isn't used to push conspiracies or target the families. I don't mind at all, because, you know, there's a lot of fools out there who are saying that Libby's sister had something to do with it. You know, Richard Allen's innocent, but no, it was Libby's sister who did it. absolute load of rubbish. So I wrote back to him, I answered him, and I said, no, I don't entertain conspiracy theories, especially about the family. Now, I don't mind talking about other suspects that there were other suspects, and you may hear those talked about in these videos that I'm going to show you from Fire and Ice. That's another thing, but it's nothing to do with Libby's family. Libby's family are going through hell, and then there's fools out there, you know, casting aspersions on her own sister, and I just think that's disgusting, to be honest. So I don't want, you know, anything coming up about that, it would just get deleted. So yeah, I wrote back to him and said, no, I don't do that. So and he said, yep, fine. So thank you very much. This is the YouTube channel. It's called Fire and Ice. Hang on. So just, you know, if it's got quite a lot of interesting videos on it, they must live not too far away from Delphi, because there's quite a lot of, you know, he's been back quite a few times to Delphi to share videos from there. So thank you to Fire and Ice. So retracing the killer's steps in Delphi, Indiana. Well, now we know the killer is Richard Allen.
Actual video of much, because, you know, we were all over the place. So really what's going on here, you really can't walk back here. You can. And you see I just walked around it. They're working on the bridge, like I said in my video yesterday. So we're gonna head back here, see what's going on, and I'm gonna keep the camera rolling. I'm gonna maybe cross, because I can't cross the bridge, but I can go. We found where it was really shallow, where you can cross across the creek, and I was gonna do a loop and do the walk that the affidavit says that Richard Allen took when he was done. So we're gonna walk back here. I'll make sure I'm good on battery. Yeah, I'll be all right. Got about 3 hours of the day time, so I can take my time a little bit, not too much, but for the sake of video length for you guys and battery, I'll try to do it as quick as I can. There is nobody out here today. It's quiet, eerily quiet.
Yeah, every video that I see of this scene, it just impresses me of how desolate it is. Delphi is a tiny place, you know, there's only about 3,000 residents, I think, and it's all spread out, you know, just, you know, such a desolate place.
I struggle with what I'm looking at out here. I don't know if that's Ron Logan's house out there. I would know it if, okay, so that's the Mears farm. So yeah, that would be, because the cemetery is up here. We're looking at it. We can't see it now, but you can see it if you're, yeah, okay, we can see it. We probably can't see it on camera, but I can see where the headstones are kind of popping up.
Yeah, there's a creepy cemetery there.
Gloves, so can't really zoom in. Let me see if I can actually. No, I cannot. It's pretty cold today. I think it's like 33 degrees. So hopefully the water's not high, because if I cross, I don't want to be freezing to death. I got a long walk back to the car. I was going to park at the old CPS building where it was. Thank you to whoever, I can't remember who it was. I've been out here a few times, and I can never find any evidence of there being any sort of building like that. It's an odd place for it. You think that'd be like a downtown district kind of building, like near the police department or something. But no, it was definitely, I don't know where it's at now, but it was right over there. Really kind of out of place. But I'm gonna put my glove back on because I had to take it off to.
So not only it's desolate, but if you did, I mean, can you imagine walking along there? And then seeing a guy coming walking up towards you, you'd absolutely brick it, wouldn't you? Because there's just nobody else there. And it's very eerie, isn't it? It really is eerie because it's so big. And so if you were walking along there and you saw a guy, they would stand out to you, wouldn't they? I mean, because it's not as if you've seen loads of people and you wouldn't notice. If you were walking along that road and one guy came walking up towards you, or woman or anything, you would notice.
But the camera. But oh, dropped it. Yeah, as you guys saw yesterday, if you watched my video where we walked out on the bridge, they are totally redoing, making it safer, which I think the girls would want, because it was definitely dangerous before. I wouldn't even cross it before, but I'm scared of heights, so I guess that's not saying much. There's like gaping holes in it. Let me make sure I'm not creeping up on anybody here. I don't want to make anybody mad, because I'm not going to step on the bridge. I'm just going to walk out onto the path. I think we're clear. Maybe. I don't know. That's a truck. Okay, I'm going to cut this way. I'm not going to go that way. There's people over there. I don't want them to see me. You're not going to bother them.
Oh, he said there's people over there. I can't even see anybody. No, he doesn't want to be seen. He doesn't want to be seen. Oh God, if those other people, if they see him, they probably think, well, he's a bit suspicious. What's he doing walking around this trail? But yeah, can you see, you could easily get lost there, couldn't you? If you didn't know the area and you came off the main road, the main trail, you could easily get lost there, couldn't you? You know, if you didn't know it. Like, I feel that if I was on there, I would never want to come off the main trail, because otherwise I could easily get lost.
Yeah, so I decided to speed this part up because I had to take such a random detour that I didn't really expect, that it took a lot of time out of what I was trying to do. I was trying to get to where I needed to go, and I didn't really.
And it all looks the same, doesn't it? It all looks exactly the same. So, yeah, if you came off the trail and you didn't know that area, you could easily get lost. And that is, honestly, I have a real phobia about getting lost.
Really know how to get there 100% from this route. And I almost got caught a few times. A tractor drives by. I don't know if I got it on camera, but to the left there's a field. A tractor got really close, and then the workers turned off their truck, so I had to be like really quiet, and it just took a lot of time. So I went ahead and we're just gonna skip all through this, and then after this I'll be down in the creek by the kill zone.
Kill zone? No. It's not written.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut the video. I'm gonna pick back up in a minute and make sure I'm clear.
It's so spooky.
Took a turn I didn't
This
expect,
place.
so we'll be back in this. Okay, guys, I think we're good now.
You know, normally I really like sort of trails and stuff like that, but this place is really spooky. I don't know if it's just because of knowing what happened there, or it just looks so. It's just not nice, is it?
I don't know if my other video is going to get clipped into this, but I came back to the trail and I walked up to the bridge and I saw some diesel trucks and people working, so I cut back. Kind of got lost. And I thought I heard somebody walking up there, but it seems to have stopped, so it should be okay. But basically what I was doing, like I said yesterday, I didn't really get to do a video. I did, but they weren't great, so this one I can talk to the camera more. That's interesting. Yeah, this is this is very unstable. This is a good little hiding spot. Looks like it didn't happen all that long ago. Who knows?
I went ahead and sped this part up as well, just for time's sake. Right after this is where we end up where the girls were found.
I don't even know where I am.
He's lost. I'm not surprised. I'm just going to forward it a bit.
Right there, I caught a voice, and I didn't hear it when I was recording, and I don't think it was the workers because they're too far away for it to be that clear. And it sounds like a female voice, and the workers were all male, so I have no idea.
But yeah, this is where they were found. This is the extensive crime scene that they searched. They had no.
So this is more or less where the girls were found, right next to the creek. The trees were similar to that in the sense of that it wasn't, there was it was February, wasn't it? So there wasn't leaves on the trees and that. So it's sort of exposed in a way because it was daytime. It's sort of hidden but exposed, if you like. And anyway, Richard Allen said himself, remember he said what happened. He said that he killed the girls, he got disturbed, he saw the white van go past, and that's why he left the scene. So, yeah, that's what he said himself. The white van went past, I think, on the other side of the creek.
No idea. I'm here, I hope. I don't want a cop coming up in the middle of the video making me leave. But I don't know what that is, but it's creeping me out. I don't know if you guys can hear it on the video, but it's like something. Oh, well, I'm not going to focus on that. So if you guys look up the pictures of the crime scene, all this is roped off with tape and stuff. Oh. So he definitely knew what he was doing because this is the only flat area that's this convenient to do something like that and get out without anybody noticing. Not to say anybody didn't notice because there's witness statements of him walking, but I'm going to see if I can cross.
He definitely knew the area. I mean, nobody would have known this area better than Richard Allen.
I thought I heard somebody walking up here when I was over there on the opposite side of the holler, and then I came down through the creek, and that was a mistake. My shoes are soaked. I was wondering if my boots were waterproof. They are definitely not. So this is going to be a cold crossing if I do it. We're going to go through and look. Yeah, they were found here. And I don't know if there's any truth to this. Maybe somebody can tell me. I heard that the only reason they found the girls is because they saw 2 or 3 deer, and the deer looked up, and then they were right next to the bodies. I don't know if that's just something I've always heard. I don't know if there's any truth to that. If anybody knows, let me know, because that's interesting. There's a house. I can't see it right now, but I saw it yesterday. There's a house over here, up on the hill. So they could have seen, I'm not saying they didn't know what was going on. I mean, there's a bald eagle. That's cool. But yeah, there's a house up here that just overlooks all this.
Very creepy place, I think.
I think we're in the clear, though. I was worried about getting caught. Not that I'm really doing anything wrong. I guess this is private property, but the guy who owns it's dead, and nobody lives there, so I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, this is where they crossed. I had to have been. Let's take a look. I was gonna cross it, but I still got a decent walk back to the car, and I don't want to like risk, like, not saying I get hypothermia, but it'd be a cold walk back. I don't want to do that. I got a 2-hour drive home, and I only brought one pair of socks. So.
Okay, so I'm going to fast forward it. So this is now where Richard Allen, when he left the girls, where he would have walked.
In my pocket for a second. Maybe not. We're clear. Whew. We're good now. We can get out of here.
I mean, it's a massive, I think, what I hadn't sort of realised before, and that's why these sort of videos are good, it's a massive place, isn't it? It's massive. You know, so no wonder there's difficulties with witnesses and things like that. It's so enormous, the place. And if you did see somebody from a distance, you know, it would be difficult to see them in any particular detail, etc. You know, it helps you understand the scene so much more and why it took so long to find the bodies.
Hey. Okay, so there is a no trespassing sign, so I didn't see that one until I got back in. There's a necklace here. Interesting. Yeah, I did not see that until I got back in, so... Well, that's the last time I'm probably doing that anyway, so... It's very easy to do even after, like, knowing what happened. Like, no, we know what happened there, obviously, but even afterwards, that was... No one saw me, no one said anything. But this is why I was kind of thinking that Richard Allen was parked here, because you saw how easy that was. Right there, you could park right there, get out, nobody knows. But there's not none of his cars are on camera, I don't think.
This is the creepy cemetery. It's like somewhat of a horror film, isn't it? What was he doing? Just hanging around there watching fish? You feel like he was a little bit like Lake and Riley's killer. Was he just hanging around waiting for victims, possible victims? Was he considering taking his own life? I still think he had every intention of taking his own life. And I think he got sidetracked by those girls because Libby looks like his daughter. And then he couldn't take his own life because he lost his bullet, didn't he? Who knows the actual, only he knows the actual intricacies of what happened. And he has actually confessed to it. I mean, what you've got to remember is that when he confessed to the police, not under duress, not under psychosis, you know, he was calm, he was collected. Don't forget the jury have heard those confessions, and that will have gone towards them finding a guilty verdict. He explained exactly what happened. And, you know, when people make false confessions, the police check out, and if their stories don't add up, they dismiss those false confessions. People do make false confessions all the time, but they don't normally make 62 false confessions to various people, including his wife, his mum, his psychologist, his prison officer. You know, the only person that Richard Allen didn't confess to was me. You know, he confessed to everybody, and all the things he said, apart from about the actual murders, the police checked them out, and they were true. That's why they believed his confessions. If when people confess and it's not true, the police check it out and then they dismiss them. His confessions checked out.
But this is the route I think that he would have taken, but I'm not going to do the exact walk that the affidavit states because I'd have to be over there and Ron Logan or whoever it is now, their backyard. So, like I said before, I don't want to harass people or like, you know, family members or witnesses or anything like that. And I try not to touch anybody's stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, I agree with him. You know, you sort of want to go and see the scene, but you don't want to bug anybody because, you know, they must be sick of it. When I went to Pride of Luge about the Madeleine McCann case, you can see their faces when you say, oh, you know, what do you think about what happened to Madeleine McCann? Their faces sort of drop. You know, you can see they're probably thinking, oh, God, somebody else asking about Madeleine McCann. But then they end up talking to you. You've got to get around them in a certain way. But yeah, you don't want to bug anyone. They're probably, anyone who lives anywhere around that area is probably getting bombarded with people going and doing that walk, doing that trail and asking about the Delphi murders, or was.
I know we did walk out on the bridge yesterday, but I thought that was harmless in my opinion. Yeah, they're burning something. Somebody lives there doing something. Anybody with like knowledge of farms, tell me what they're doing, because that was there yesterday too. And the barn's open, so somebody's.
Yeah, imagine if you lived there at night. It must be so creepy. You've got that weird cemetery. That reminds me of the Stephen King book Pet Cemetery. You know, it's so creepy. And imagine if you lived there at night time, you'd be like reacting to every noise. You'd have to have quite a lot of dogs, I think.
Obviously. Must be like a family member or something. But yeah, we're going to walk back. We're going to take the walk for the most part, what the affidavit says that he took. It's got to be the cemetery. It has to be. Because RTV6 has the bodies being found back there, but the picture that they used for the crime scene is that. So I don't believe that he walked all this. So no one else, there's houses back there. No one else in the house has reported seeing him. He had to have walked out of the cemetery. I don't think anybody can tell me, can convince me otherwise, really. The mirrors. A lot of the last names in this town, it's like I don't know, people from Martinsville, if you're on here.
So creepy.
Like the Spinas and all the, you know, famous Martinsville last names. Not that it's like not any important, but Delphi definitely has them. I've seen the name Mears everywhere, and then Shockley's. So anyway, the last person to see Richard Allen on this February 13th was someone driving past this road. She saw him walking up the road and said it looked like he'd been in a fight, covered in mud. It looked bloody. So
yeah, so don't forget there was a witness who saw Richard Allen walking up that road, covered in blood, covered in mud, looked like he'd been in a fight. So he was seen.
And then there's the Harvest, or there's the Hoosier Harvest store, the big blue building with all the little garage doors on it. That's where she drove past. But like I said, he's not on camera walking past. And if it's catching people drive by, it's sure as hell catching people who are walking. So he had to have went around or something. Maybe went through the woods back onto the trail. But I guess he wasn't seen on the trail after that.
Look, this guy, he knows the area, knows where the cameras are, he knows how to avoid the cameras. He'll have found a way around the cameras, that's for sure.
I don't know. Hopefully that gets filled in. I guess that wouldn't get filled in unless he had finally admitted it, but it's interesting for sure. Man, really? I don't see any fencing over there. You can just walk back there that way. Exactly. Maybe he came up through there. I don't know. I guess speculating is pointless. We don't know. Like, it's interesting to talk about, yeah. For journalism purposes, I don't do it, but this case is a little different, so it is interesting.
If you've watched, like The Walking Dead, the series, this reminds me a lot of the scenes there. I don't know, you feel like you'd see a walker come out of the trees. But yeah, Richard Allen, he knew where all the cameras were. He knew everything about that area. It's not like us going there and not knowing, which way to go, which trail to take, which way to hide from the camera. He knew exactly. And I think he just would have come through that cemetery. That was open there. Let's have a look. It feels to me, I know it's only a feeling, I don't know for sure. But yeah, he came through the cemetery and it's open.
It's like, I know people from Martinsville, if you're on here. The last person to see.
Yeah, when he came to the end there, that was just open.
Richard Allen on this February 13th was someone driving past this road. She saw him walking up the road and said it looked like he'd been in a fight, covered in mud.
I think he's come up here.
Bloody, so.
And onto the road
there's the Harvest, or there's the Hoosier Harvest store. The big blue building with all the little garage doors on it. That's where she drove past. But like I said, he's not on camera walking past. And if it's catching people drive by, it's sure as hell catching people who are walking.
So not there.
He had to have went around or something. Maybe went through the woods back onto the trail. But I guess he wasn't seen on the trail after that.
No.
I don't know.
Came up here.
Hopefully that gets filled in. I guess that wouldn't get filled in unless he had finally admitted it, but it's interesting for sure. Man, really? I don't see any fencing over there. You can just walk back there that way. Maybe he came up through there. I don't know. Like I said, speculating is pointless. We don't know. Like, it's interesting to talk about, yeah. For journalism purposes, I don't do it, but this case is a little different, so it is interesting. It's a little bit but people who are on the Facebook group are saying he's walking along a well-traveled road and only one person saw him. As you can see, this is not a well-traveled road.
It's not a well-traveled road, no. There's no.
They're lucky that one person happened to come through and see him. Good thing it's not windy out because that'll make the audio useless. May as well not even make a video if it's windy.
Okay, I'm going to stop that video there. He's got go to Farah if you want to see this. There's loads of videos on Farah Nice's YouTube channel, but I want to look at another one now, which is at night time. It's really creepy of the area at night time, which of course it didn't happen at night time, but just to me, the thought of living here, I just can't imagine it. It's only a short one, then 17 minutes. Just going to put the music down because that's going to get you copyright that. So this is a private drive leading to the bridge. How creepy is that? It's so creepy. I don't know whose house that is. I wouldn't want to live there in the middle of all those woods, that's for sure. Part of me would. It'd be lovely, but I'd be too scared. You wouldn't want to get a flat tire there, would you? Be like your world's nightmare, I think. Anyway, let me put another one on now. Right, we did that one. Okay, let's have a look at this one. So as I say, there's lots of videos on there of the scene if you want to go and have a look. So this is the bridge as it is now. Look at the difference.
Video, kind of showing how it looks around here when everything is blooming. And I'll walk over that way in just a second. But creek's not as high as I thought it was given the recent rain that's come through. I'm not sure exactly how much they got, but every time I looked at the radar, it was raining up here, but must not have been as heavy as it looked. But you can see the whole sandbar is visible. That's the sandbar I tried to cross over in my video when I was doing the...
So you can see the bridge now. They've put the handrails up and they've put a proper surface on the bridge. I think I might be able to just about walk over it now. Even though I still probably wouldn't really enjoy walking over it. But with the handrails, that makes a big difference.
Walk across the creek. Snakes will hang out on that sandbar too, like in the spring and summertime, and like sunbathe. Because the first time I was here, I saw like 3 or 4 all at once. So definitely a snake-heavy area for sure.
Oh, snakes as well.
Anyway, I'm gonna walk not to the crime scene, but I'll walk to the overlook in the ravine where you can see it. I've walked down there enough for sure, so we'll just follow this little trail here. If you ever want to know how to get to it, this is how. It's not very long at all.
So this video is, this video is springtime video. So there's a bit more foliage on the trees. Don't forget that when the actual murders happened, there was nothing on the trees.
Yeah, this is definitely a good spot if you're into mushroom hunting, which I know some of my viewers are. I used to do it as a kid.
Oh, mushroom hunting. No, not after that case in Australia. We were all poisoned by the mushrooms. No, we won't be going mushroom hunting.
With my parents and my brother and stuff. But I'm not a big fan of them, so I don't really do it as much as I used to. But you can sell them if you don't like to eat them. But they are fun to look for sure. But you got the moisture in the ground from the creek and all that, and it makes a good environment for them to grow. I've always heard they grow by May apples too. I don't know how true that is. I've never found one by them, but people say they have. But once you see, like, a lot of, so there's people out there who think that Richard Allen or Bridge Guy, whoever, whatever you want to call him, if you're not sold on the Richard Allen arrest, some people think that they just walked this way because of how easy it is to get over there. I'm in the camp of South Side, and they ended up on this side somehow, whether they crossed the creek or I don't know. We actually don't know 100% for sure if they crossed the creek, but they ended up here somehow. So They either walked this way from the north side, or they walked from the south side and crossed over. One day we'll know for sure, maybe. I've always been in the camp of we cornered them at the end there and had them go down to that side and cross that way, or maybe there was a vehicle where they tried to abduct them. I don't know. They, you know, once the video cuts off, we don't really know anything, obviously. So
yeah, so when you look at where these girls ended up, I think there's no way on earth that the older guy, the 77-year-old, I don't think he had anything to do with it. People suspected him. Well, obviously it's his property that the girls were found on, and that was a reason why Ron Logan, that's a reason why he was suspected. Also, he told lies to the police. He'd got, was it his cousin or someone, to lie for him. But the reason for that was he wasn't supposed to be driving. He wasn't supposed to be driving. His license had been banned, and he had driven. And so he didn't want to admit that, and that's why he lied to the police. So the police looked into him. They had a search warrant for his property. They took away his devices, etc. And then, of course, the other guy that was sort of in the frame a little bit was the shots guy, the guy that had set up an internet account, a false internet account, and he was chatting with teenage girls. Anthony Shots, was it, the actual account? He was under suspicion, but he was cleared. Well, you know, he's in prison, I think, now, but he's in prison for trying to entice minors. But there's no proof that he had any contact with Libby except on actual, on social media. Police investigated him, you know, so.
we do know that their clothes were found in the creek from the some of the audio, I believe.
It does look more beautiful now with a bit of greenery, doesn't it? It does look more beautiful than it did. It looked so stark before, and but now it does look a bit more of a pretty place that you'd like to go to. But I still think it's eerie.
And the photos. But yeah, we're already basically, we're looking at the crime scene already. I'll show you what I mean. You just come over here. A lot of poison ivy. Trying to watch out for that. Pushing 6:30. I'm trying to get done before it gets dark. And then we're basically, once you go down this little hill, you're at the crime scene. That's Logan's. Well, that's the floodplain immediately, but everything up here is all Logan's on the other side of the ravine here. And that is the crime scene we're looking at. Definitely not as far of a walk as some people would think. You just go down that little path and you're basically there. And they were found like right in that little general area. I'm trying to circle it. Somewhere in there. I'm not going to go down there just because I've been down there enough. But there is a tree down there I want to look at. And whenever I'm not by myself, I'll go down there and look at it. There's like a tree with like the bottom section of the bark cut off, like all the way around it too, which is really weird. So I don't know if that's related, but I kind of wanted to I have it on video. I just never pointed it out. Like I pan right at it. I look at it and then I just go on. Like I'm kind of mad at myself for not noticing it the first time. But when I was going back through the video, I noticed it. I was like, that's really weird. So we'll get a look at that eventually. I'm not going to do it today because I'm by myself. So I would rather have Indie Archive here with me. kind of see if there's other people in the area. Then I don't want to run into somebody. He can do that with his drone. He kind of scans the area and makes sure.
Yeah, so he's got some good drone footage, this guy, because he's, I don't know if it's his partner or his friend or whatever, they take the drone footage as well. So he's not actually there on his own, but he's on the ground on his own, and his partners took some drone footage.
There's like nobody walking around out here, things like that. Because you never know who you can run into, for sure. Just best to be safe about it, Because I'm not sure what's in season for hunting, but there's a deer stand out there, and don't want to run into anybody like that. Get mistaken for a deer or something.
Yeah, get mistaken for a deer. It's so huge, isn't it? That area, it's so huge, and you're miles away from where you're parked. There doesn't seem to be anywhere close by to park. I mean, when I say miles away, 15-minute walk or whatever, what I'm saying is you're not exactly just like 5 minutes away from wherever your car's parked. It's a very desolate spot.
Which I'm pretty sure deer season's like in November and December, but anyway, I'm going to walk back. Yeah, it's a really easy walk. From this angle, from this side it is. Over there I can't imagine it is, but especially if you're crossing through the water, definitely not as easy. Walking from the crime scene up into the cemetery is harder than this. Because you got like stray barbed wire that's been knocked over, and it's rusted, so you can't really see it very well. And not to mention that it's just basically all uphill.
Now, this is another one that I'm going to show you now that's in the snow. So that one, the last one we watched was in the spring. This one is snowy. It's a very interesting video to watch. And it's got the drone footage as well. Oh, it says not for public release. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to show this one or not. Anyway, I'll just show it very briefly. Show a bit up here. Look at it in the snow. It's quite amazing to look at, really. Just need to keep fast forwarding because I don't know if I'm allowed to use this one really or not. Anyway, it just gives you an idea. I think we've had a good idea of the area, how vast it is, how desolate it is, and how whoever did what they did to Libby and Abby, who I think 100% was Richard Allen, they had to know the area inside out, didn't they? Okay, so we're going to finish off with looking at the Monham Bridge, how it is now, the improvements that have been made. Let's have a look at that. This is how it is now.
So that's the latest as far as what happened in the court case. But what's been happening in the community? Those girls disappeared on the Monon High Bridge Trail. That is an area that is very different today than it was when they disappeared 7.5 years ago. Samantha Johnson went back to the scene and filed this report earlier.
This used to be an old rail corridor. It was vacated by CSX back in the late 80s. But take a look. You can still see the old wood paneling on part of this bridge. This is what you see in that video captured on Libby German's cell phone, the down the hill video from the day the girls went missing. But now, here in 2020,
you know, the more I look at this, that is, I mean, not even like just the spit of Richard Allen. He's definitely not he's definitely not tall. He's a short guy. His jeans are bunched up at the bottom. You don't get that with tall guys because they find it hard. I know for a fact because my son is 6'5". Find it hard to find trousers that are long enough even to go to their shoes. Never mind to bunch up like those jeans are bunched up. This is Richard Allen, and I think his wife knows full well that this is Richard Allen, and his wife is in so deep in denial. And when Richard Allen was confessing to her, calmly, rationally confessing to her, not in psychosis, she told him to shut up. She said, "No, you didn't. Shut up. No, you didn't." And he said, "Yes, I did." And she said, "No, you didn't." She kept telling him to stop talking. I think his wife knows exactly that he is the killer.
Girls went missing. But now, here in 2024, if you take a look to the west, you can see all the improvements they've done here over the years. All of this thanks to a project that was started in 2017, but delayed a few years during the pandemic. In 2022, new decking and custom steel rails were installed. Then the city of Delphi got more than $1 million from the state's Next Level Trails program, and they used it to develop this ADA-compliant pedestrian and bicycle trail from the east side of the city to the bridge. That includes a new trailhead, parking areas, paving, lights, cameras, and information kiosks. Delphi police even now have a Parks and Trails liaison officer who helps oversee the trail system across the city. But one thing that has not changed, about halfway down this trail, a growing memorial for Abby Williams and Libby German. Two girls, two friends, gone but not forgotten. In Delphi, Samantha Johnson, 13 News.
So, you know, I expect they get a lot more visitors now than they ever did on that trail. People going to, you know, leave tributes for Libby and Abby. I'd like to do, you know, if I was ever there, the chances of me ever getting to Delphi are probably non-existent. But it'd be nice to leave a tribute to them, wouldn't it? To leave something. Just, you know, at the end of the day, nothing brings Libby and Abby back, even though they do have justice. Richard Allen, he's got, you know, he's been found guilty. We've got his sentencing coming up. Justice has been done, but it doesn't bring them back.
Now, we have returned to the trail twice during this trial here in the last month. And on both times that 13 News was out there, it was a beautiful day, not a lot of traffic out there, very serene. And it's just really hard to believe that such a cruel crime occurred in that area that's so peaceful, where people go out to commune with nature, get their steps in. And this is an area that will forever be marked in this community by the death of those two girls, the murder of them along that trail. Back to you, Scott and Felicia.
Okay. So that's it. That's what I've got to show you. So thank you for caring about Libby and Abby. Thank you for being here with me to go to look at the crime scene and the area. I hope you found it interesting. Please remember to like the video, and if you're not already subscribed, please consider subscribing. Special thank you to all of you who are subscribed and who do like my videos, and an extra special thank you to my members to people who buy me Ko-fis or PayPal me or send super stickers. I thank you so much for supporting my channel. So I'll see you really soon in the next video. Let's put a candle up for Libby and Abby, and also, of course, for their families who they've, you know, although they've got justice and the perpetrator, the person that brutally took away their girls, will probably go to the prison will be in prison for the rest of their lives. Let's hope so. But it doesn't bring these girls back, so little prayer for them. Okay, thank you. I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.